Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we're checking out episode 8 of Spy Family. So, the last episode, we spent a lot of time going into Anya and her struggles and the fact that she has like a lot of responsibility on her and like knows about it because she can read minds. So she understands how important her like role is in this mission to befriend Damien and how she kind of screwed that up a little bit. She punched him. So there were a few rocky parts to that. She tried really hard to apologize and he decided not to accept it, which is ridiculous. She is a sweetie pie and she said she was sorry and she cried, and like how can you not forgive someone who's that cute and just genuine and just wants to make everything fine? I don't understand, but I feel like there's going to be some more layers to that friendship, as it does seem that Damien does seem to have a weak spot for Anya all the same. But we also got to see some of Floyd's struggles in that he feels a lot of responsibility for this mission too, and he's having to rethink all his plans. He's kind of getting stuck in his head and panicking a little bit, and he doesn't quite understand, I think, that he is putting all this pressure on Anya. I mean, I think partly he doesn't understand because he doesn't know that she can just read his thoughts and understand how panicky he is, but also he's not experienced in like being a parent and taking care of people. He's been on his own mostly for a huge chunk of his life. So now that he has like responsibilities to take care of these other people, he's kind of having to adjust really, really quickly to this. And he's still trying to be the spy who's working on his own, and he's not really confiding in his family. So we got to see him kind of adjusting a little bit to that and the struggles of that process. But he did have Yor to kind of recenter him. I said a lot about her being like the heart of all of this, in that even though she's pretty good at the whole assassin thing, she's just a very sincere person, and I feel like she has a little more experience because she has a younger brother. So she's like, this is my experience of having to take care of someone, because Floyd doesn't have that. He doesn't have younger siblings. He doesn't have, he didn't have parents that were there taking care of him. He was orphaned really young. So having someone like Yor to be like, well, this is what it was like when I had to take care of my little brother, so let me help you with all of this. That brings us to the part where Yor's brother kind of found out that she got married and didn't tell him. So it looks like he is going to be one of the focus of this episode, to see how he is going to react to finding out about the marriage, and I'm assuming show up to see his sister and to meet the husband and what have you. So it should have lots of hijinks with these two trying to portray a marriage and a relationship that has been going on for some time, and probably flounder as they try to like justify why she never brought it up beforehand. So I'm sure that there will be some laughs and some awkwardness between Floyd and Yor, but I'm here for it. So let's get into episode 8. In 3, 2, 1, go. Ugh, I love everything about this opener still. I feel like I say that every single episode, but it continues to be true. At some point, I would have to check the whole song. Are we ever gonna find out what the little hair things are that Anya always has? Because, like, part of me is like, maybe it's just a design choice. Because it's cute. And also, she's has telepathy, so, like, maybe it's to make her seem a little bit, like, otherworldly. But I feel like there might be a reason for it, because she was, like, experimented on a little bit, so it makes me wonder what they're for. There's, like, a deeper meaning. But maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Math class. Ooh, you studied this. I believe in you. Oh, she said it with confidence, though. Poor thing. Everyone's face. Aw. Math not our thing then? I was always good at math. I was awful at, like, English, though. Interesting. We have another player coming in. He seems a little bit intense. Oh, isn't that one of the people that worked with Yor? Oh, yeah. See, sometimes I remember faces. And then there's the other one. Did you forget? Has it been a whole year? I feel like it's only been like a month. I guess there was a lot of training and stuff. Hmm. I don't know if that's what they mean. I feel like your version of him being adorable is slightly different. You can tell that he's intense because he has scars on his face. That's how it works in spy thrillers. Sure, sure. That is unnecessary. That was what they were talking about. I remembered that they were talking about Yuri's job, and I was like, I feel like it's important in that it's like in opposition to Floyd and what he's trying to do. See, now I'm like, is he a kid? Is he a softie then? Because if he's part of the secret police, then maybe he's not as soft as he seems. Right? Like maybe he just seems adorable from the outside, but there's something else going on. You know, because Yor is like just a cutie pie, but also really good at assassinating people. So he's playing good cop, huh? Uh-oh. Did you forget? Or is this a maneuver? See, now I'm just suspicious. I know I get suspicious easily, but sometimes I'm right. See? He's specifically looking for Twilight. The plot thickens. Oh dear. This is gonna be awkward when everything comes to light. I don't know when that's gonna be, but way to set up the stakes. He's really not that bad. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what Floyd's like was like before he was, you know, Floyd. So, I knew he would just be cute on the outside. Something else underneath. Ooh, the putting on the gloves is very intimidating. Ooh. He seems a little intense. Ooh. Wow, that seems to be a family trait, huh? The creepy glowing eyes. Do Yor and um Yuri know about each other's jobs? Or does Yuri really think that Yor just works her normal job? I know they said what it was, but I completely forgot because I don't think it's important. Like, her job is to be an assassin. I did that once when I helped my friend learn math, but I used sports analogies, which was very hard for me because I know very little about sports. Quick, everyone, act natural. You prepared? Oh my. Oh, the betting though. I like how they're both reading Spy Wars like manga. Oh, wow, that is a lot of flowers. Yeah, see, I'm that girl. I'm just like, what? You okay? She does have an intense. Oh, I remember that. Didn't she talk about that early on? That like she hugged her brother too tight that she like broke ribs. Look, Floyd is really just a sweetie pie. Don't worry. I've been calling him Floyd, haven't I? Floyd. Oh my god. I'm so dumb. My brain was thinking Forger and Lloyd, and I stuck them together. It's been one of those weeks. My brain just left me. Does that mean that Yuri doesn't know that there's a kid now? 'Cause that'll be a little surprise. Be like, yeah, she's also a mom now. Oh dear. Oh, good link up between the like political meeting and then the two characters. Okay, take turns, one at a time. I can't read two sets of subtitles that easily. Yeah, maybe don't say that. Look at them on that vase. Oh, they rehearsed this? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you would, yeah, take it very well if you married someone for the, like, image of it as opposed to because you actually care about someone. Yeah, I'm sure she's got this. That's your excuse. Poor Lloyd. Yeah, he is probably willing to accept anything that she says. Apparently. It's probably really good. Wow, look at him cook. Is it you're the one that likes to drink though, as we have experienced before? Yeah, it does make him seem a little bit creepy. Definitely being interrogated a little bit. Okay, calm down. He's really nice. Yeah, he cooks. He's very considerate. You should see him with his daughter. It's very sweet. Making this seem very picturesque, but I'm like, he was probably there for fairly intense things. Is Lloyd figuring out? Oh. Interesting. Oh, so you can figure out that Yuri is lying after like a what, 15-minute conversation, but you've been married to Yor for a year and you can't figure that out? Yeah, he does. So tread carefully. True. Oh, I'm sure you'll figure it out. He's very sweet. Ooh, that's concerning, isn't it? So she's been doing this work for a long time then? Oh, that's sweet. She's like always covered in gore. She comes home. Lloyd can. He's very good at what he does. A little bit dense sometimes, though. Poetic. A bold liar. Lloyd would find a way. I believe it. I believe he would move planets to make something happen. Yeah, they're still awkward. Oh, a little heart. And like, I have the paperwork. Look, they're very socially awkward, so you're gonna have to give them something easier to show affection. I like how he's confident, like, we've done this before. They haven't. Awkward first kiss, though. It's like in front of your brother. It'd be so weird. I like the light. That's their ending it too. They're like magic, like circle soft light around them. Uh, Anya just asleep the whole time. I do find it interesting though that Yuri was like, you don't know what it's like to have to like I don't know, let someone else take care of someone that you very is very important to you. But as far as Yor and Yuri knows, Lloyd actually has a daughter, and he's just like, yeah, Yoda's Anya's mom now. Like, so I think it says a lot that he's like, she's part of the family now, because as far as they know, Anya is his actual daughter, and therefore one of the most important people to him. And he's like sharing the responsibilities for taking care of her with Yor. See, the real plan should have been to introduce Yuri to Anya, because I feel like if anyone could convince him that everything's okay, it's her. But she can also read his mind, so she'll know what's up. She'll probably think he's really cool. Oh dear. So Yuri seems a little bit intense. He seems very, very protective of his sister. And, you know, as someone who also has a brother, it's a different dynamic because he's older than me by quite a few years. But that I don't think that's how he feels about me, which I'm glad for. I'm glad that we have some separation in our lives. But also, I think it's really interesting to see Yuri and Lloyd interacting with each other, because seeing them side by side and stuff made me realize that they have a lot of similarities between them, insofar as they are both very protective of the people that matter to them, and they feel very responsible for that. Like, they both have joined secret government organizations in order to protect people as much as they can, and they both feel a lot of responsibility to protect people. So I like seeing that dynamic between them, and like the fact that family holds a very special place for them. In the case of Lloyd, it's because of the lack of family growing up, so he feels very protective of like other people being allowed to have stable families and not having to worry about things. And I think he's also very protective of his family. He may say it's because of the mission, and I think that he probably believes that, but I think it's also because it's filling in that part of his life that he just never had. He didn't have siblings, he didn't have parents, he probably didn't even have like stable friendships, I wouldn't think, because he was always undercover and switching from place to place. So him having a family now is incredibly important to him, and part of it is him like being like, oh, it's just an act, I have to pretend to be that husband father figure. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that, a lot deeper than I think he's willing to acknowledge right now. And then you have Yuri, who he only had his sister. We found out that they were orphaned really young. I can't remember if we knew about that earlier on, but you know, both Lloyd and Yuri being orphaned, but in the case of Yuri, he had Yor to look out for him, to protect him, someone that he always had a consistent part of his life. And we saw that she clearly went out of her way to make sure that he was happy and cared for and was allowed to get the education that he wanted and to follow that kind of curiosity that he has. So it's understandable that he would like latch on to her as intensely as he did, because I'm sure there was a lot of other chaotic things going on in his life, and to have someone who was so stable in his life, I'm sure was really, really important to him. And I understand that he's like very fiercely protective of her now, because it's that sense of responsibility, right? He's had her taking care of him for so long and protecting him that he feels like he has to pay that back in some way, not in a begrudging kind of way. I think he's honored to have made it to a point where he is able to protect her. A little bit intense, but I think ultimately there are a lot of things that connect Yuri and Lloyd to each other, and I think that that will end up making them like each other a lot more than maybe they would want to. I think that they're going to begrudgingly become closer because they have those similarities, and if nothing else, they both want to protect Yor. That is something that they both share, and I think that alone is going to like earn Yuri's respect for Lloyd, because even though Lloyd can talk about wanting to protect her and feeling a certain way about her, I'm sure once Yuri sees some instance of that, it's really going to soften him up to Lloyd. I think also just seeing Lloyd interacting with Anya and like the family unit that they've become, I'm sure that Yuri will have a soft spot for that, especially since Anya is also an orphan. We kind of have this group of orphans, these people who lost family and stability coming together and finding that with each other. So I'm sure that Yuri seeing Anya and the way that she cares about her parents and the way that they care about her, that is also going to shift his perspective on the marriage and them being together, because they are a very good team. So I think once he sees that, he'll buy into it a little bit more. But we also have the issue of actively trying to hunt down Twilight, who is also Lloyd, so I'm sure that that will come back in some way, because there's no way we're setting that up not to have that be an issue later on. But it's definitely going to be, I think, a little bit more of a complicated decision later, because not only do I think that Yuri will end up respecting Lloyd in some way, but I think he'll also see that Yor cares about him and he's willing to do pretty much anything for his sister. So I'm sure that if Yor said you can't take him away, you can't whisk him off somewhere with the secret police, he's gonna be like, all right, fair enough. Like, I think that that'll be end of discussion. I think unless he thinks that he is protecting her from him, but hopefully Lloyd will change his mind. He'll find out that Yor doesn't actually need someone to protect her because she's pretty much got that covered all by herself. I didn't know that she started so young with the whole assassin thing, but I do find it funny that like both Lloyd and Yuri just like haven't figured it out, but Lloyd took like 10 minutes to figure out that Yuri is like working undercover for the secret police in some way. Like, it took one conversation for him to be like, that is in a handbook somewhere, I know that conversation. But he's been with Yor for a year and he can't figure it out. Lloyd does a lot of things, but sometimes he is a little bit slow on some things. Or Yor is like very, very good at covering it up, but I don't think she is. We've seen her slip up a few times. She's not very good at lying or covering up things. She literally was like, I didn't tell you about my marriage for a year, even though you like directly asked me about my life over the phone, because I forgot. I forgot that I was married and that I should tell you. Oops! That's her best cover-up, so I'm sure that there are signs for Lloyd to follow. Big neon signs with flashing lights for him to figure out who Yor actually is. But then we would lose some of the situational comedy, so I guess I'm willing to allow it. But it does look like they're going to have to lean in to the romance thing a little bit more, which would be interesting because they've pretty much been living in their own lives for a little bit. You know, they live in the same house, but they're not actively being husband and wife, you know? Like, maybe out in public they're like, yes, my husband or my wife, while they're like talking to people, but it's not the same as like actually being in a romantic relationship with someone. So I'm sure that they're not used to like playing up that role like in the privacy of their own home, and now they have to. So I'm sure that that'll be interesting as it escalates. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous actions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss next time I post a Spy Family reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!